G'day! In today's video I'm opening up a Samsung Galaxy A32. I believe this particular one is a 4G model. There is a 5G model that's taller. And as I say that, this one's taller. This one's potentially the 5G, we'll find it out soon enough. I've taken out the SIM tray. This one has been liquid damaged. And I'm going to open it up and see what we can find. The customer has been describing the screen flickering. So I'm suspecting there's liquid near the display connector. I'm going to use some isopropyl, fin pry tool. Actually, not that fin pry tool. I will utilise a different fin pry tool. This one. I'll put that around here. Now this has also been on my heat pad here for around about 5 minutes to soften the adhesive. So if you've got isopropyl alcohol, definitely use it, as that will soften the adhesive on there. Otherwise, heat will be your friend. Cut the adhesive there. And from there, just be able to keep going. And most of the adhesive stayed on the back cover there. And we are an A32, which is not what I expected. So it goes to show how close all these A series are to one another. Next up from here, I'll disconnect. I believe this is the buttons on the side. There we go. And now I'll use a small 000 Phillips head screwdriver. And that should get me into here. Now, some phones, the screws just don't want to leave the body. I think this is going to be the case. So I'm suspecting to see liquid on the main board, probably on the OLED display connector, but we need to get this body trim off, or body assembly. There we go. Now I'll use a pair of tweezers to get these ones out. I did leave one screw still connected. This is getting rather warm on my fingertips. Yeah, on this particular model, this weird cable going here, I believe connects to the display and the charger port at the same time. So that cable is handling power and display. So I can definitely see the potential as to why it's playing up. But also falling into liquid. We'll do that as well for a device that doesn't really like having liquid. As you can see by the battery date up here, it's not exactly an older phone, but 8 months old at the time of recording. There we go. Now with all those screws removed, I should be able to pry this assembly off. So now we're down to this level. Let's see what we can see. So I'll be thinking this connection here. Fine. Other connection. These are looking okay. I'll zoom you guys in. So looking at it, these connections here are okay. Same with down here. No real signs of moisture indicators going off. I'll unscrew and lift up this. Take a peek under here. It's also looking okay. Now next up, disconnect the battery, disconnect the main flex cable, which is also looking just fine. No signs of white corrosion or anything like that. Next up we've got a screw here to undo. And I should be able to lift that up from there even with the front facing camera still being connected. Fold this over. And I do see the moisture indicator here has gone off. But on the board itself, we're looking high and dry. Not to say that there isn't an issue with the phone, but at a glance, there's no real signs of any liquid damage apart from the indicators going off, which sometimes I see that simply from people using a phone in a bathroom, shower's gone, steam from the water, but this one's looking okay. So I'm going to leave it on my heat pad and just cook it for about another few minutes. Then I'll proceed to reassemble and see what happens from there. So we're nicely roasted now. It's time to put it all back together. So click, line it up, push, line it up, push. There we go, battery. Reconnect. There we go. Now we should be able to put this back on. And before you go ahead and put all your screws back in, give it a test from here. So I'm going to need to let this cool down for a bit. Connect up button. Or I'm just going to continue putting it on, but if you were testing this at home, I would probably not bother putting all the screws back in and leave it for a little bit to cool down if you're heating it up. Stick it on powered, leave it for a little bit and see how you go. But from here, I'm just going to put the screws back in and proceed to get this back together once more. As is normal, the customer doesn't want to go ahead with a screen replacement, which I believe the flickering may have a fair bit to do with that. I thought these ones are OLED, but they very well may be LCD. But I've just got the other two sitting down there in the front window.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the big one's heavy, so I think I'll come back. I don't think I'll trust doing two.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bye.
One more bottle.
That is now back together. So I'll let it cool down and give it a test run. Hopefully that stopped the flickering that the customer was saying they were experiencing, but I think it's the damage to the display.